Good morning, Ligers. Just sending you a quick message. It's Kieran again from Cornish Beatty, your official European correspondent, even though I live here now. And thankfully so, because that most recent election in Germany is fucking dire. Yeah, as you probably saw, the default party of Germany, the CDU, came first after kind of like moving to the right and becoming a bit more unhinged, doing the drill tweet of playing with the racism dial kind of thing. Second place was the AFD, who are just openly letting in a bunch of like absolute monsters, like SS glorifiers and former like neo-Nazi party members into the Bundestag. So that sucks. Silver lining, we got rid of that weird business-friendly centrist party. He ate shit because he's a fucking. We had like an a investment bro party. It was bad. The left-wing but let's be racist party also didn't make it in, so that's good. And the left-wing let's not be racist or transphobic party actually doubled their support. So that's a nice silver lining there. As you know, Germans realized they were genuinely anti-fascist. And they also directly elected Ferenc Kocak, the first left-wing party member to get a seat in a West German district. And he ran specifically on a, like, there's a genocide happening in Gaza kind of platform, along with other, economic and anti-racist issues. So, yeah, reasons to be hopeful. Bigger picture, I kind of feel like with all the shit that's happening with Trump and his negotiations with Putin and like hanging like Ukraine out to dry and basically telling the Europeans to go fuck themselves, and the Europeans are kind of responding with, well, we'll just cozy up to China then. We'll spend a shit ton on military and we'll just do more trading with China, and it'll be all that kind of stuff leads me to kind of say, death to German Europe. It's probably the official death knell of German Europe. Long live, and unfortunately not much better, French Europe. As they are the only ones with nukes and an aircraft carrier, so they're probably going to be calling the shots for a while. Yeah. Sucks real bad. But it's funny. Give you that. If you want to listen to how fucking funny it is, and conversations about, the head of the Munich conference crying because of J.D. Vance's speech. God damn it, that was good. Yeah, you can check out Cornish Beatty. Anyway, yeah, death to Germany. I don't know.
Celtic Ligers.
Recorded 24th of February 2024.
How's my
Welcome
audio?
to Celtic Ligers.
Welcome to Celtic Ligers.
Fine.
Okay.
All the way from sunny Galloway.
Galloway. Galway. Yeah, so surprise. I fucking left. I bought a one-way ticket very suddenly. And now I'm back in Galway. And I'm just sorting my freaking life out, man. You know?
You're doing some adulting, yeah. Some life admin. That's exciting. We got a new coffee machine in the office. I'm sure you'd be excited to know. It only took a year.
Tell me
since
more.
I started. Since I started, my manager's been like, from just in time, we're getting a coffee machine in the office.
How long have you been there?
9 months.
God damn, doesn't it feel like...
It feels like...
I really thought that it was you, because you were like, oh, it's been a year, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And I was like, wait a minute. No, it doesn't, does it?
Yeah. I know. Ronan was talking to his mom, and she was like, how long has she been in the job? Because it's 9 months. She was like, Jesus, I thought it'd been a lot longer than that. So it's like, my negative energy is just giving off this thing of like, he's been there for years, you know?
I like how, no, I don't even know if it's your negative energy. I think it's something that the job radiates, where it's like,
Yeah.
you go like, you know, when you started off talking about, like, oh, I don't know, I'm not, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? You were just kind of, but.
Yeah. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah. No, I mean, like, I just.
No, I know.
I don't know what it is, but like, it feels like being at, you know, your grandparents' house or something, doesn't it? You know? Like, time just takes on a different texture, and somehow it's managed to break free of the confines of your workspace, and I can feel it, even if you don't do anything, you know?
So when I started, he said, we're getting a coffee machine. And then, since then, it went from like, oh, it'll be like a nice little thing. Then it was, you know, by the end of it, it was one of you get in the garage, you know, like one of those ones. And then it turned up, and my boss came in with the brochure, and he was like, we finally got it. And then we all had to go down, and like, I'm not taking the piss. To make one cup of coffee, it's just like a DeLonghi thing. You know what I mean? You put the beans in, the coffee comes out. I say it's to make one cup of coffee, it took 5 minutes. It's like the Mr. T thing in Father's Head. It's so loud, so slow, and we all had to like one by one make a cup of coffee, and then go, geez, this is lovely, this is great, you know, much better than the go to the shop or like the instant coffee that only takes a second. I said, like, we spent about half an hour talking about the coffee machine just to like appease his ego.
I was like, months from now, you're going to be like, gosh, do you remember that day when we had the coffee machine to talk about? Wasn't that fantastic?
I'm not messing. Today, I was so bored that someone was like, I'm going to make I'm going to make a coffee.
Yeah.
And I went with them. I was like, I'll come. And I just watched.
Oh, goodness.
And there's it's also so ready to fail because it has a milk thing in it. Right? And no one's going to clean that out.
No.
And then who's going to buy the beans?
So this is it. God. I mean, the other one is like, you know, when sometimes the temptation for me is to pick up smoking, although I can't do it, unfortunately, is that like I can go, I'm going to go for a smoke, you know? Because I remember when I was at work, I was like, the one time where I worked in an office, I was like, I think I might have said this before, but like I get up in the morning and I was like, I'm going to wait to shit until I get into the office so that I can claw back some of my own time, or they're paying me to shit.
Yeah.
So like, I would love the opportunity to have more breaks so I didn't have to be in that building. But then they're like, hey, good news. We got a nice little coffee machine. You can have a coffee in here. And it's like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. It really highlighted the tedium somehow. You know? I was watching someone else make a coffee. I mean, like, are you going to get an Americano or like a macchiato? You know?
Oh my God. Also, like, you can see, you know, like, I'm disparaging your coworkers. This is not James saying this in case they accidentally stumble upon this podcast. But there are some people who
I like my coworkers.
They're good. Huh? But there's some of the characters you meet in these office environments. You're like, how the fuck did you get like that? And then you're there watching a coffee getting made and you're like, oh my God, it happens like this. You don't even realize it's happening. And soon I'm going to be saying like completely nonsensical anecdotes about like half remembered TV shows. It was like your pal, Peter Griffin might say, Cowabunga, you know?
Yeah. I wish they watched The Simpsons in my office. It's more like, as your friend, the main character from Prison Break. You know? Whoever that is. Or like
As,
your friend Luther.
Oh God, let me look up. Sorry, I just want to try and find out who's the main guy from Burn Notice.
Yeah.
Who's Bruce Campbell's character in Burn Notice? As your friend Michael Weston might.
Yeah. They come in and they'd be like,
yeah.
Look at me, I'm Michael Weston.
Wait. Let me look up one more thing. As your friend Patrick Jane might say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's for somebody to Google. You can do that at your own leisure.
There is a guy in work currently crashing out. And it's interesting to see. He's sort of the second one since I started to just.
Do we need to put
have
this?
a bit of a blowout.
Do I have to edit this bit out?
No one knows who he is.
Okay.
I'm not going to say anything more.
All right, good.
But crashing out is happening.
Yeah. Well, you have that to look forward to.
Postal. Maybe just go postal. Whatever happened to that?
I was about to say where you work. It's just to be like, instead of calling it Go Postal, they should call it Go Beep. Because even still, people come up to me and like, I guess the weird thing about the parasocial relationships of podcasts is that I presume it goes both ways. Okay, so like, sometimes people will come up to me who listen to the show, and then they'll be like, "Oh, does James have a job?" And then you'll be like, "Yeah." What the hell? You don't know? You know?
Yeah. It's funny. No one ever talks to me.
Interesting.
I don't get any of that.
Well, maybe I make more of an effort, you know?
Yeah. You probably do.
That's why the freaking fans love me. The fan loves me. I was told to...
I ran into a fan.
Oh, yeah.
John Cleary.
Oh, lovely. Can you ask them why the hell they got rid of their fucking subscription?
They probably just got sick of the show.
Yeah, that's probably it. I keep track of everybody who leaves, and Stephen B, you're next on my fucking shit list, okay?
Okay.
It's horrible to hover around this kind of, like, bit of money where, like... Imagine like Chapo, you know what I mean? They'd be like, oh, we lost some people. Oh, yeah, whatever, you know? Or like if you make no money at all, then this is so tacky. I'm going to stop talking about it. But something about that little bit of money where it's like, oh, it could turn into something, but it probably won't. But don't get your hopes up. But also, and so you just keep track of those people. And it's like, we should just get rid of the Patreon altogether and do it for free because I can't handle this, you know?
No. I think I notice everyone who joins.
Yeah.
And you notice everyone who leaves.
This is absolutely... Because every time somebody joins, I'm like, yeah, we'll see how long this fucking lasts till the next betrayal.
Yeah. What'll you do with one more person? Here's a bit of, what'll you do the next time someone unsubscribes? What'll you do?
We're saying it's just bad news that I live next to a fucking pier, okay? All right?
No, don't
So anybody
don't say it that
out
way.
there who's thinking about unsubscribing, okay?
Right.
You could save a life.
Yeah. I was hoping you're going to take it out on someone else. Now I really hope people don't subscribe.
No, I'm only messing. I actually couldn't give a shit. Couldn't give a fuck, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just
They're all
not.
snakes anyway.
But it's really funny when somebody goes like, because Rob sent in a message, which actually is good to bring it up now to correct the record. But like, there were like the blind Fine Gael guy.
Don't read that one out.
Huh?
I was like the most crazily libelous thing. Even if it's true, it's like great. We can't say that.
No, I'm not
We say
saying it. I'm
everything.
saying that. I'm not saying what he just said. Basically, because I was being very flippant about that Fine Gaeler who was drunk on whatever O'Connell Street, and then they were like,
Blind
"I'm
drunk.
stepping down because I was drunk," and I was like, "Why the fuck would you do that?
Blind
You're
drunk.
feeling yourself now. Just indulge." But now they're like, "I've heard," and this is in the news.
I've
so we
heard
can
but
say
not
it.
seen.
That there might be some other like sexual harassment stuff, which is kind of like basically he's not a good guy, and I don't think I said he was a good guy, but like
He's
I
blind,
kind of was,
folks. He can't see. He has no eyes.
because
That's
I
my
was,
trouble.
but that was what I was saying, was like, oh sure, he's fucking blind, just let him away with it, and then it's like, well actually he might have done some sexual harassment, and I was like, I hope nobody clips what I said on the podcast and uncharitably puts it out of context,
It's funny how, maybe not funny, but it's certainly true.
Mm.
There's a guy who wanted to bring his cat into the forecourts,
Yeah.
and he apparently there was momentum behind him to let him bring the cat in.
Mm.
And they were concerned. And then once he got in, he stripped down in front of the judge, completely
No
naked. And then it was turned out he was done unrelated. It was like he had been accused of sexual harassment in the past.
God.
And then suddenly once that came out, it was like, nah, fuck the cat. Like,
yeah.
the cat can't come in.
I was like, well, I don't know. People have different needs and requirements, and he comes in with the cat and like goes Billy Bollock, and you're just like, oh
Yeah.
right, no,
Yeah, get that fucking cat out of here. Kill the cat.
no, I hate the cat. No, I'm going to kick the cat into the fucking Liffey.
I was talking to my therapist there
Mm.
privately,
Yeah.
and he's big into horses. He used to he raises horses to race.
Mm.
And I said to him, "Do you like every horse you meet?"
Oh, that's a funny question.
And he was like, No.
Mm.
I was like, "Do you ever ride with horses?" Of course I do.
Mm.
I feel like that's if we're well paired,
Yeah.
me and him.
Yeah.
It's like I don't like these people who like every dog they meet. That's
Yeah.
insincere. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like saying you like everybody.
Well, I mean, do I like every cat I meet? That'd be my animal of choice.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether I like every one of them, but they all have like a different personality. But anyway, the point that I was trying to make is that a horse is different, because I feel like horses are very human or something. Do you know what I mean? They've got a very deep kind of, I feel like horses got deep thoughts,
Yeah, horses be thinking,
Mm.
whereas a cat is an automaton.
Yeah, a cat is kind of like they have different personalities and they're cute, but ultimately the thing I like about a cat is that kind of just doesn't give a fuck, you know what I mean? And it doesn't be thinking all that deeply. It's got it all figured out,
Yeah, I like a honey badger.
Yeah.
They don't give
What was
a
that?
fuck.
What was that? Can we just read it again just because it's come up? But what was that one with Elon Musk? Remember the tweet with the wine?
Yeah, the guy trying to suck off, and he's going, do you remember we were drinking wine and someone said it had to aerate before you pour it? And you hilariously said, a honey badger gets, what was it? Get it off.
Yeah, I'm getting it up now. So here he goes.
It's one of the greatest
Oh
tweets
my
of all
god!
time.
Do you remember when? I don't remember when he said there was something about like people were asking him, did he play chess? And he was like, it's actually too lowbrow for me. I play video games because they have more like, he was kind of trying to be like intellectual. He's such a moron, obviously. But anyway, this is another example of that from 2023. Fucking hell. I don't like the taste or effects of most alcohol, but there is something quite beautiful about red wine in a fine glass. And then Peter Pham goes, I remember pouring you a glass at a friend's house in San Francisco. Sorry, they've said SF here, so they could mean Sinn Féin. I remember pouring you a glass at a friend's house in Sinn Féin after another mutual friend's wedding in 17. I was decanting another. You didn't want to wait. Honey Badger drinks what when he wants. Little crying, laughing face. And oh my God, sorry, I forgot that last bit. I made the clutch move of ordering us a pizza at 1 a.m.
Yeah. And the worst thing is, that probably worked. You know what I mean? Like, most probably was like, yeah, that was legendary.
Yeah. Did you see that thing that I sent you?
Wait for it. Dairy.
Will you see on so what's the one? CPAC, it's a conservative conference that's happening. So Musk went up there and people are paying attention to that. Melee came out and gave him a fucking chainsaw and he just looked like a dickhead waving it around his head. But did you see the bit where he's sitting on stage and he goes, yes, I am become meme.
I am become meme. Yeah, pretty much. I'm living the meme. It's like there's living the dream and there's living the meme, and it's pretty much what's happening, You're like...
Yeah, I did.
That one was so fucking painful. That one is so... I hate that this... Like, obviously he's in America, so he's not directly ruining my life yet, although whatever vibes he's unleashing will surely make it over here. But, like, the idea of, like, him and a bunch of children pulling the guts out of the US, like, bureaucratic system. You know what I mean? People will die because of what he's doing, and he's up there with that stupid hat and those pair of glasses, like, yeah, I'm Dark MAGA.
Yeah, did you see his new thing of the? He really is the opposite of Trump, because whenever you go with Trump, you go, "Do you see his new thing?" It is funny. Whereas with Musk, it's just like, his new thing is just always painful. It's like some sub-department within the Department of Doge. He's called Doggy style. But the sub thing is called financial. It's some acronym. But it really means like fuck around and find out.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. And he said that it could be like the armed wing of Doge.
Yeah, that was it.
I was like,
Bailiff.
fucking hell. What was the one? You said something there and it reminded me of oh yeah, I was going to say, it wasn't that he's like the opposite of Trump. It's like he's like a bizarro version of Trump. Because they have like those,
that means the opposite.
No, it's not the opposite. It's like the same but different, Because like these people who like,
what is it? Superman.
Yeah.
And what's the other guy?
Bizarro Superman. I don't know.
He digs, doesn't he?
Does he dig? No, he flies. I think he flies backwards.
That's the opposite.
Bizarro.
Also,
Superman.
did I tell you this? My therapist used the phrase "fuck the guts out of someone."
Ugh.
Mad, isn't it?
I don't like that.
He was like, "Oh, people have different coping mechanisms. Some people drink, some people do drugs, some people go out and fuck the guts out of some young one."
Oh, Jesus.
I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
It's so visceral.
Don't do that. Whatever.
But
it's just the lads hanging out.
It was his advice. It was his prescription.
Yeah. Do it. Have you seen Seven? Nah, just playing. I'm trying to find out where Bizarro, but I always thought Bizarro was like, he's just like a kind of warped like a knockoff version of Superman, basically.
First of all, he's a woman. Bizarre
he's
Superman.
not.
He's the opposite. So he's a woman.
Yeah. And he's black.
So, and he's, yeah, you think black is the opposite of white?
Yeah. What are you talking?
No, he's Chinese or something.
You mean black like that? I meant he's like literally black. You know, like jet black.
He's black Chinese.
Yeah.
And he. What else? What other characteristics does Superman have? Superman gay.
No. So Bizarro is gay.
Suppose he is. Suppose he has to be.
It has to be. I'm sorry. Those are the rules.
Yeah.
What? No, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Just call him bloody DEI, man. At this fucking rate.
Yeah.
Getting angry at Bizarro Superman. He's too woke.
What was it? Anyway, I didn't finish my brilliant point about like how they both have names that are like kind of one syllable sounding names, like Trump, Musk, you know. And they all fail upwards, and also there are a bunch of rich people who are dependent on their success despite them being complete fucking morons. So there you go. And also they have a weird thing about children, like as in the way that they reproduce. You know, the way like Trump is like obsessed with like male heirs, and he had it worked into like a prenuptial with Marla Maples, if that's her name, that any male heir that she provided him with, she'd get more money. And he also believed that if he had like 5 kids, then at least one of them would be like him. But anyway, Musk has like similar weird rules where it's like, no, I don't want to fuck any women. I'm just going to do it all through IVF and then make them all men, you know?
Yeah, Trump should worry less about having male heirs and worry more about having frail hairs.
Do you know what he should worry? He shouldn't worry less about male heirs, and he should focus on having on getting some manners. Manners.
Sure.
He's rude. He's a fucking rude boy. He's a rude boy. Yeah.
I heard, and I believe it to be true, that
Great start. Yeah.
Elon Musk, and it would do you ever think about Harvey Weinstein? That he had 48 gangrene.
48 what?
Gangrene.
Ugh.
Basically, he had gangrene on his willy.
Yeah.
And it got so bad that they had to like sew his testicles onto the sides of his legs and stuff.
Jesus.
I think Musk is the same thing. Do you know what I mean? So you never. Why are you with? What's with the IVF? Like I know he wants the male heirs, but you never hear of him having sex.
No.
It's always like the dicks. He'd borrow the dick sucking robot from Israel, and like,
yeah,
that did the job.
Except for like 69, he'll bring that up a lot.
But that's just because he likes the meme, the number. You know what I mean? I never got the 69 thing.
Do you know that our last episode was 69, and I thought, should I do anything with this?
Should I dare?
Yes. Do I say, here's episode 69, nice?
Yeah.
Or should I make a tasteful reference to the Magnetic Fields seminal album 69 Love Songs, and have the Book of Love playing at the end like the last episode of Scrubs?
Yeah. Man, the last episode of Scrubs is so sad.
I didn't watch it. What happens in it?
Turk is a baby.
I thought he already had a baby.
Dies. Here's another one.
And it dies?
No, it doesn't die.
Okay, all right.
I don't know. They're friends or something. I think his baby fucks JD's baby.
You know what weird? Do you remember that in TV, the kind of like, we got to talk about the issues. And so like BoJack Horseman finds the one where it's like, we want to represent asexual relationships and things. Okay. Now, if we have any asexual listeners out there, okay, I apologize, but anytime I hear that, I'm just like, I'm sorry, man. That is not a struggle. Shut the fuck up. Okay. Anyway, so do you remember? But there was a sort of arc in Scrubs where JD like conceived his kid because he prematurely ejaculated.
Yeah, that was funny.
And it was a really touching, like like basically people were making fun of him, and then he was kind of like there was like a tender moment, like a serious thing, like it's not funny to joke around about PE, like it was literally he was getting like. Putting some learning on them,
Yeah. Yeah, if you have PE, you should just end it. You know what I mean? There's no coming back from that. You're not a man. Like. You're not a man at all.
If you can't do the beep test and you can't shower with the lads without feeling self-conscious, then you're fucking not a man at all, huh? PE, folks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I wasn't talking about that.
Did you ever have to like? Did you ever have to like do showers in like secondary school?
No.
Luckily we didn't either. But they were there as like an option, and like everybody was like, "No fucking way, no hope."
Yeah. Mandatory showers every morning. Come
on, fellas. It's me leading the charge into the showers.
The water's fine. They should have just had one of those big baths that football players have.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the principal's in there going, "Come on, boys. It's natural."
I just remembered like one time.
It's your PE class.
They were doing like leapfrog in PE class, and my friend kept like lifting up his head, and the teacher came over and he's like, "Would you put your head down?" And he just forced his head down. Okay. And then my friend like basically reported him for like slapping him, for like physically assaulting him. And the teacher had to come over and apologize. And even at the time I was like, "Man, why'd you do that?" Yeah. But he was talking about it the whole day, like, how do I address this? I was like, well, you don't. Like, nothing happened, Like,
yeah.
But he was really like concerned, and he was like, and then the teacher apologized to him, and he was like, that was the honorable thing to do, and I appreciated that. I was like, you weren't wrong. Nothing happened to you,
Yeah.
Like,
what a loser. No teacher ever got reported, except one who kissed someone.
Oh God. Ugh. Ew, girl, you kissed a... Well, I don't know if you kissed a girl, but ew. Kissing boys or girls, woman. Ew. Okay, cool.
And what a woman. Speaking of... did you see the Pope's dying?
Yeah, I did. I don't know if you've seen online, but the big joke at the moment is that they keep like, that doctor in Arrested Development who's like,
yeah.
I'm afraid he's no longer with us, and then it turns out like he just left the room or something.
How's my son?
He's going to be all right.
Oh,
thank God.
Finally, some good news.
There's no other way to take that.
That's a great attitude. I gotta tell you, if I was getting this news, I don't know that I'd take it this well.
But you said he was all right.
Yes, he's lost his left hand, so he's going to be all right.
You son of a bitch!
But they keep posting stuff where it'll be like, the Pope is at rest all through the night. He's fine now. He's woken up. That type of thing.
Wait, did you come up with that comparison yourself?
Well, I mean, he's a character that I know and cherish, so he was inevitably going to come up in my mind, but I have seen somebody post a picture of that doctor.
I'm not giving out. I'm just saying. guy at work
Mm.
made that joke as if he'd come up with it.
That's funny.
And I'm very suspicious now that he just saw it on Twitter.
No, he 100% did. Yeah.
Because it's not the sort of place where people will watch the rest of the development.
Mm.
How curious.
I wouldn't. That particular character as well, he's like, I wouldn't say he's like a deep cut, but like, you know, if you're watching Arrested Development, it's like, oh, as your friend Michael Bluth would say, giggity giggity. But like, I just wouldn't be like, oh, you know, the doctor who doesn't have a name, who's played by that guy from the Upright Citizens Brigade, who's in the Ass Pennies sketch, if anybody's ever seen that.
Do you think you're better than me?
I didn't say that.
Oh, you didn't have to. It's written all over your face. You have any change in your pocket?
Why?
Take it out.
Why?
Go on. Take it out and take a good look at it. Oh, my. You've got a few pennies in there, don't you? I've been sticking $30 in pennies up my ass for the past 11 years. That's 3,000 pennies a day. 21,000 pennies a week. 1,092,000 pennies a year. To date, that's 12,012,000 pennies. 8 times the population of Nebraska. Those pennies were in my ass.
Misleading Doctor, I think his name is. I don't know what it is.
Dr. Misleading Doctor. Yeah, 89 years old. The Pope. R.I.P.
Is he 89?
First non-European Pope in 900 years or something.
Mm.
Do you know who... They're saying there could be an African Pope next.
Oh, that would be brilliant.
Why?
South African Pope White, you know?
Yeah. He'd be the 4th African Pope.
Would he?
Yeah.
Who are the others?
Pope Gelasius.
Okay.
One.
Where was he from?
I remember. He was from North Africa.
Yeah, no, do you want to get more specific? I don't. North Africa, huh?
Yeah. Okay, he was from... Let me guess. He was a Berber. Specific enough for you?
Has there ever been a black pope?
Yeah, that one.
Was he black?
Gracias. He's African.
Yeah. Gotcha. Sorry.
He ain't white. Tell you that much.
White people in Africa doesn't make no sense. Unless they're over there like missionary work or something. I don't know.
And then this was like 900 AD or something.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was a while ago.
Apparently the Pope has been ringing Gaza every night.
Should have rung the doctor instead.
Yeah.
Saved
his
life.
Tyke Hickey is in like Lebanon for the funeral of some like. Anyway.
Yeah, but we went to fucking Comedy Unleashed, so.
Let me figure out what's the funeral in Lebanon that's happening, because there was another Israeli, like a Zionist anyway, tweeting that like, you know what, we should bomb that funeral and it'll solve us a lot of problems. And people are like, you can't just bomb the funeral. And they're like, why not? They're all terrorists in there. And I was like, imagine if they did and Tyke Hickey was taken out in an Israeli airstrike.
Would that be good for the pod? Is the question. Okay, let me read out the popes and just very quickly.
Yeah,
it's
for Nasrallah. It was his funeral. Sorry.
Papal candidates. Okay, Pope Francis, so he's dead. So it won't be him.
Yep, probably not, though.
This is from the independent.co.uk. Don't know what they know about fucking Catholicism.
Yeah.
Cardinal Parolin. It's probably Italian or something.
Mm. There's one who had a really Italian name, if I remember.
Cardinal Erdo.
Which was the one who had pizza in his name?
Oh, yeah. Cardinal Tagle. He's a Filipino.
Are you reading out all the ones from Conclave? Is that what you're doing? Is this the...
There's a Filipino guy at Conclave.
Okay.
So Conclave was mad the way they made the one black cardinal like abusive to women. Wasn't it?
Abusive to women, but he was you know.
To what?
Well, no, sorry, he had an inappropriate relation. Wait, sorry, what am I talking about? Yeah, he is abusive to women, I guess, because it was like an underage relationship, wasn't it?
I don't think she was underage, but it was just like the first time you see him, he's like screaming at your wall.
Yeah. Either way, he couldn't keep it in his pants. That was
yeah. There was also a bad bit in that film where, like, there's the Italian candidate, and he's like, "It's either me or you really want the future of the church to be," and then he just like gestures with his thumb. He's pointing at the black guy, and like, there's no bit where they were like, "Does the need to explain that?" or like, you know what I mean? Condemn. I don't think it was a particularly subtle film. You know what I mean?
No.
But just for that moment, they were just like, everyone will get this.
I think
you
it
know
was
the black guy.
Well, because Ray Fine immediately gets up from the table and leaves and is clearly furious at him.
He's not. Ray Fine goes like, he's like, I read that as Ray Fine's being like, yeah.
No, because he got up and he went over and sat with them.
He was checking him out. Cardinal Raymond Leo Burke, American.
Oh, Ray Burke. Imagine. Pope Ray Burke.
Yeah. But Pope Mick. Pope Paddy Murphy.
Yes.
Hey.
Give me more. I'd love... Wouldn't that... Imagine this place if the Pope was Irish. Imagine. You know?
I love if the Pope was Irish.
Oh my God. Yeah. I'd do what I'd do if another patron left if the Pope was Irish.
According to the Hindustan Times, there are 4. This is such bullshit. This is like what the Irish should do. They're like, there are 4 candidates running who could be Indian. There are 4 contenders for an Indian Pope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No way. Like what? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're splitting the vote here. It's like, no, it's on high from God, but we all know what's really up there. Huh?
Cardinal Felipe Nere Ferrao.
Nice.
Doesn't sound Indian.
How many candidates are there?
I think a fair few. Like, whoever attends the conclave can win.
Just like the movie.
Yeah. It's like the porno. I just want to see the Paddy Power odds. For the next Pope. Odds on the next Pope. Yeah, he certainly is odd. The Pope.
Jesus.
What was the pizza guy again?
I don't know. It was called like Pizza Ragatelli. It was like Donatello, Michelangelo, Pizza Ragatelli.
I want to see what the odds on my man Ray Burke.
Ray Burke. Who was Ray Burke? Was he like a politician who was a Dumbo back in the day?
I don't know.
Ray Burke, former Minister for Justice of Ireland.
There's a guy Cardinal Sean O'Malley, 25-1 odds.
Don't like him. He sounds American.
Sean O'Malley.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is devilishly clever. Paddy Power has given Richard Dawkins 661 to 1 odds. Sorry,
Ooh.
666 to 1 odds.
Oh my god.
Bono, 1,000 to 1. Guys, come on. Serious.
Richard Dawkins is closer to getting... I love the funny joke, which means that Richard Dawkins is closer to becoming Pope than Bono is.
Yeah, I love that joke.
Very funny.
The Nigerian guy.
Right.
Fair play to them all. It's too bad they can't all win.
Wouldn't that be great? Shouldn't they have like multiple popes?
I think they've tried that.
Yeah.
It didn't work out. What else in the news? Did you see?
Speaking of another Argentinian, I just wanted to bring up Milei, whatever the fuck. You know, the Argentinian prime minister, and then he promoted that crypto coin, and then he tweeted about it, and then he took it down, and they were like, all these people have been kind of fucked because of your crypto coin endorsement. And he goes, if you go to a casino and lose money, what's there to complain about when you knew the risks given out to people for buying the shitcoin? But the other thing that happens in the interview is the strange way that he speaks. He basically was like, they were like, well, why did you do this crypto coin thing? And he's like, the left are trying to destroy me, and we need to destroy them. You can't give them an inch. But the line that he says is, you can't, and this is him, you can't give left-wing libtards an inch, otherwise they will kill you. You can't give shit leftards an inch.
True.
Yeah.
Mad. Do you see Fianna Fáil are trying to get women to run? And they're failing. It's come out recently.
They always say that. Like, I remember...
Speaking of libtards.
No, they're always saying stuff about, like, a lack of, like, gender diversity with Fianna Fáil. And then they go, oh, like, we're having trouble finding the candidates. And I was like, I really don't think that you're looking, or you're actually that concerned about it.
Yeah, if you gave a fuck, you'd find some. You know what I mean?
I think so. But there was one, what was it? Let me pull up this article now. On my internet might drop. Give me 2 seconds and we'll know. Fianna Fáil seating females and good-looking men to 4 on Dáil benches.
Don't
say
call them
party
females.
TDs. Yeah, I know.
All the females is such dark energy, like.
The way that they do this as well is like they're trying to be sort of like, oh Jesus, I'm only kind of messing now. I'm only joking. And yet it was written up by Gabi Getcheveka, or what the fuck? Anyway, this is fucking dickhead who I've had it out for ever since she was mean to our beloved patron, Bridget Purcell. But she was on, by the way, also, there was a show, I don't want to talk about it too much. I didn't really watch it, but you know, the Virgin Media tonight where Gav is talking about the issues of the day with a panel of experts. And so they talk, and they're talking about, you know, the guy, they have him on as well to talk about like his ingenious idea to get everybody to live in sheds in somebody's garden, you know?
The Irish subreddit were so delighted by this proposal.
I know.
They were like, this is so smart, amazing. Like they weren't, it's mad. They weren't like, it's just what it's come to, but whatever, I need somewhere to live. They were like, delighted to live in a shed.
I think like some of these people like live in parallel worlds. And I'm not saying this like, oh, we're like, you know, are you stupid? You live in a parallel world? What I mean is like, they
are stupid.
Well, they are stupid. But like, you know, when they have like the sheds and they go, sir, sure, what's wrong? Like somebody just wants to make a bit of extra money in the back garden, or like your son or daughter wants to live in the shed close to home. It's fine. It's grand. You know, they don't like, when I hear building sheds, I imagine some fucking, vulture fund sort of, you know, developer dickhead rubbing their mitts together and then installing like, you know, like literally what was in Ready Player One, where it's like sheds on top of sheds, and you're paying like $2,000 a month to live in, you know, Wicklow or something. You know, like it's not like when they talk about it, it's like that's the parallel world I'm talking about, where they're just like, oh yeah, like people need a roof over their heads. Well, we'll just make some roofs in the, you know, over their head in the back garden, and it'll be fine. It's like, do you not see all of the shitty people profiteering off of everybody in this crisis? It's like you're not serious. But anyway, Gabby was on there, and she was commending the government for having like, yeah, no, they're not shying away from big thinking, and that's promising.
I think it's interesting to see the way that the government is going. They're saying, look, we have ideas. We're in the early stages here. We're willing to debate. We're willing to compromise. We're willing to work with the opposition. I wonder, will that attitude continue as we get into the rough and tumble of the next couple of years and as the pressure builds up?
That's crazy. The shed thing
is
she's
like, our age. She's the same age as us.
Yeah. Which is
28.
The shed thing is like freaking Waterford Whispers would have come up with the shed thing.
Yeah.
If they're smoking crack, you know?
This is like Waterford Whispers on crack, you know?
Yeah. No, that sort of crack. But they like, Irish housing is already so great. Do you know what I mean? Like, Irish housing is the quality of a shed elsewhere. It's like, it's damp,
yeah.
it's full of shit, and it's moldy, and it's full of spiders. And it's like, now the shed has a shed. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, what is that going to look like? Like, the people on Reddit are like, first of all, I don't think they're imagining living in the shed. But if they are, it's going to be like, you know when you're a child and you imagine building a secret hideout? And you're like,
yeah.
You know, the TV will go there, and they're like,
we have a TV wall, and then there's going to be, McDonald's like in Richie Rich, and they're going to, there's be a person there paid, I guess, to stand there all fucking day in case one rich kid comes over to buy a fucking single cheeseburger. Insane.
Yeah.
Such a waste of that person's time. Anyway, we'll have that in our fucking magic shed that'll be up in the super duper secret treehouse where you have to have a little knock. Oh, there's a secret entrance as well. That was also something,
Yeah. Whereas instead it'll be a shed. There'll be like one extension cord that runs out. And every night the family who live inside will just lock the door. Like, they just lock their back door, so they're just stuck in the garden all night. And if you like take a piss in the head, they're like trying to evict you. Like, you have to wait till morning.
One time, Zainab lived in a house near Mountjoy Square, and basically it was an old Victorian house, with about like would it be like 1, 2, 3? I'd say it'd be about 5 or 6 rooms, okay? But they were like, the landlord like decided, here's what I'll do. I'll turn each of those rooms into a fucking individual ensuite apartment, okay?
Yeah.
And then people can be charged €800 a month to basically live just with their books pressed up against their face when they're trying to sleep. Like every bit of it.
Yeah.
Like it was horrible. But like the other thing about it was they had to coordinate with the landlord when they wanted to turn the heating on. So it'd be like, what time do you want? And then they'd be like, can we have it? I guess most of us get up for work at like 6. So maybe if like it was on for like 5, okay, cool. And then like in the middle of summer, it's like the heat is on and you're just trying to call up the landlord. Like, no, can you like change the timer on the heating? Imagine, I don't know. Like this is what's happening now in like, I just don't, what the fuck is wrong with these people? They don't care. Anyway.
It'll be like that, but like, every time the family go to bed, they're like, the extension cord is plugged into a socket, and then they just like unplug the socket when they go to bed. Like, and you want to, yeah. Would you live in a shed now? Would you live in a shed That's what my
I'm not
parents
living in any shed that those fuckers. If you told me, like, okay, in Austria, or what was it? Vienna, Vienna's in Austria, isn't it? That's a stupid question, but anyway, I said it.
Who
I asked it.
knows?
So is it fucking in Austria? Answer me that now.
Probably.
But anyway, the point is, if you were to go like, do you want to live in a shed in Austria or in Vienna? I'm just remembering a certain other shed, which I probably wouldn't like to live in a Austria, a certain anyway. The point I'm getting at is like, if it were anywhere else but Ireland and you pitched me on the idea of living in a shed, I'd contemplate it for a second. But just as you said there, like, I see what your apartments are like, so there's no fucking way I'm living in a shed that you'd make, you know?
Well, you live in a shed in London.
Depends on the location and how much it costs.
Yeah. It's £25,000 a year. And it's in Slough.
No, I wouldn't. No. Slough. Fucking Slough.
Yeah. What about...
I watched... Yeah.
I'd live in a shed in the outback in Australia.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Would you know?
And then I'd like get a kangaroo and I'd put dynamite in his pouch.
Or you'd yeah. Be shaking spiders out of every single thing in your house, you know?
Yeah, in my shed. Luckily I wouldn't have anything.
Just gotta shake the spiders off my shampoo as I take a shower, you know, and
if I was living in the outback, I'd be naked all the time. I just revert to nature.
Yeah. And then, you know, your natural spider suit forming around you.
Yeah. I wake up, wipe the spiders from my eyes.
Wipe the spiders from my puffy red eyes.
Yeah.
My eyelids that have sealed shut.
No, I think Ireland is not designed for shared life, you know?
No, God, no. Like, do you know they were going like, oh, we're retrofitting homes now? It's like, okay, well, are you going to make sure that these sheds are properly insulated? No. Money, no, like, please. Thank you.
The shed thing is literally like, they don't see us as human. You know, like, who had the gall to suggest that? And then someone going, yeah, that's a good idea.
And I'm just like, going well, here it is. And then you come back out and it's like a kennel.
Yeah.
Like,
shed, like.
No, I built it. It's a shed. And it's like, well, it looks like a kennel. It's like, no, like, it's too big for a dog. And I was like, yeah, but it seems too small for me. No, it's just the right size for you. Now get the fuck in there and give me my $2,000, you fucking you dog.
Yeah. I think it's also particularly egregious because, like, I know this it was like Dublin City Council coming out and saying, like, you can't run. I suppose they didn't quite say this, but they were going to get rid of soup kitchens.
Mm.
And one of the reasons was it's not dignified to be people. It's like, yeah, why don't you just stay in your shed? You know? Why don't you stay in your shed and don't be looking for free food on the side of the road, you fucking animal? Why can't you have any dignity?
I love they're going to war for the sheds as well because, like, you know, so like the Irish Independent, you know, like, so Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil come to, okay, it's going to be sheds next week, and they're like, sheds, yeah. So figure it out. I don't know how you pitch it. And then they got Gabby Getcheveka from the Irish Independent going, it's remarkable thinking. It's very forward. Like we do have a housing crisis. Any units will do. And then they also have this article from the Irish Independent. Family with 2 babies facing eviction from mum's back garden say new government rules must include mobile homes. And if you remember, Katie Hannon did like a show about housing there just before the election. And it's this guy from Cavan again who built the mobile home. I hope the audio is still there. I don't know whether we talked about it on the show, but he was like, she was going, basically like this guy, very tragic story, and nobody died, but like it's a tragic story in the housing crisis sort of way, where like so they got approval for a mortgage, and then his wife got pregnant, and they were like, oh yeah, we'll just rescind that, obviously.
Yeah.
So he's like, fuck me, what am I going to do? And he's like, here's what I'll do. I'll put a mobile home in my mum's garden, and I'll put it off of the power and the water and all that there. And then the council were like, no, once he'd done it, the council were like, you needed planning permission for that, so you can't live in it. So he's on Katie Hannon, and Katie Hannon was like, and you didn't know this at the time. And he's like, no, I didn't know. That's my fault. That's on me. And it was just like, I just thought it was funny, this guy, where it's like, he's just doing his fucking best. You know what I mean? He's like, I have 2 kids. I need to do something. Like, just, I thought that this would work, and you're telling me what, I can't do it. But anyway, now they're like, okay, cool. Had him back for the last election to talk about how bad the housing crisis is, but now we're going to dust him off here and justify the latest horrible idea by the government. So he's sitting here in the picture, like dressed up in his church clothes, 2 kids, and they're kind of smiling into the camera and going like, hey, it's there are dozens of us, like.
Yeah. And then, like, they're literally saying to him, like, your last ditch attempt to live. Well, congratulations. We're going to let you do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It really is just like, well done. Like, you can thank us now.
Yeah.
We're letting you live in your shed. And like, but you have to tell everyone we did you a favor.
That is funny, where it's like he goes on the TV and he's like, me and my partner did everything right, and all we want is a house, and we can't even live in a fucking caravan. And then the government is like, we hear you loud and clear, and you can live in that caravan now. And he's like, thank you, sir.
Yeah. My cousin lives in a caravan. I never understood this. He lives in a caravan in a shed. But I guess you have to do that.
Yeah.
Otherwise they'll take your caravan away.
Yeah. You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to live in a caravan in a shed and just put a fucking cement block down on the accelerator.
That's the end of the free bit. Go to patreon.com/CelticLigers for the rest where Gar talks about the show Please Buy Me a Home, where 2 gay podcasters managed to make it not entirely intolerable. Danny Healy Rae on living in a shed, and would you believe he's positive on the topic? Then finally, they talk about Zelenskyy being absolutely fucked by the West.